Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Hi, I'm Jack Berry, and I'm at the Novi Golf Show with a huge crowd. First time we've been here in 2 years, and it's been quite a change. And also a change here. Chris Whitten was not the executive director of the Golf Association of Michigan at that time, and a lot of things have happened since that pandemic started.
The world has been turned up. The world has been turned upside down, but this it looks a little bit normal this weekend, which is really fun and kind of relaxing to see everybody back. It's great.
Well, tell us what has happened in these two kind of idle years. What's happened to the golf in Michigan?
I mean, to start just at the GAM office, we've kind of reacted the way a lot of businesses have. Our employees work from home. In some ways, we kind of invented remote work with running our tournament program. Ken Hartman and all the volunteers who work our championships, they're on the road all the time at our member clubs, and we were fortunate to be able to keep that going. And I remember when we made the decision to go and to do it, there was a little bit of nervousness, but we got through it, and really it was successful. And I'll tell you, we've probably gotten more thank yous in the last 2 years from golfers than Ken has heard in the last 20 years, but we were really happy to be able to do it.
Well, tell us about how many tournaments you oversee, and they go on to the United States Golf Association to national championships.
Right. I would put our competitions that we help to oversee in 3 different buckets. Number 1 are GAM championships. We run the state championship for men, women, and juniors, all age groups, all genders. Scratch events and net events. So no matter what your level of play is, you can compete for a state championship through the GAM. The second bucket are the USGA qualifiers. We're an allied golf association of the USGA, and we conduct 16 qualifiers for their championships in Michigan every year. And then the last bucket, what I would call GAM Golf Days, that's for the social golfer who wants just a little bit of competition, and you have an opportunity to go play golf courses that you might not otherwise have access to. A lot of nice private clubs make themselves available through the GAM to our members, and we do about 20 of those a year, if not more.
Now, how many members and how many courses are members?
Right. I think we're at 470 plus golf courses, and now when you include our junior members and our youth on course members too, we're reaching over 70,000 people in Michigan through the GAM.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of volunteers. How many volunteers?
Right, yeah. If I could get all 70,000 to volunteer and play golf, we'd be in really good shape. But the GAM has one of the strongest volunteer corps of any state golf association in the country, I've come to learn. We have over 100 active on the tournament side alone, and over 100 active on the course rating side as well. And some folks are crossing over and doing a little bit of both. Then when you throw in our governors and our officer team and the leadership of the association, almost 300 people participating. So it's fantastic.
It's a fantastic job. And they're all working for nothing.
Yeah, we buy them a lunch. These are all people, they've grown up in golf, they've enjoyed it their whole life, and now a lot of these folks, the majority, are at a point where they want to give back and they want to stay involved. And honestly, those volunteer groups are like little sororities and fraternities. They have such a good time coming out and working. They're long days, but they're serving golf, and they're having a great time while they do it too.
Well, you've grown up in golf with your dad, Buddy, was a longtime professional at Blythefield over in Grand Rapids. And tell us a little bit about going to Notre Dame and all for the Irish, and then you go to Michigan. Holy cow!
I've been able to see it from every side of the fence there is, and a lot of my best friends are Spartans. I was rooting for James Pyatt this summer and his coaches and all the people at Michigan State as hard as anybody. But I've just been very fortunate to grow up in a nice game with a lot of people. My dad was very well connected in golf through the PGA section in Michigan. And I grew up watching guys like my dad and others who played at a really high level, and I always knew what golf was supposed to look like. And like most golfers, I've tried really hard to make my golf look that way with some success, but not as much as others. But we're just fortunate to have all the people involved in the game in Michigan that we do. And I don't think people take it for granted here. I think they know how good we've got it from a golf perspective.
Well, I found over all the years that I covered golf at the Free Press and at the news and around the country that a lot of people don't realize how big golf is in Michigan with the number of courses we have here, and a number of vacationers who go to them. And I feel that Michigan golf has done a fantastic job.
As I talk to people at the golf show this weekend even, some of our best partners are at Garland and Boyne, and they're here. They've done such a nice job getting the word out and even targeting out-of-state players to come to northern Michigan. I think when people couldn't travel and didn't want to fly or take an extravagant vacation, they started to look at where there was value within reach, and Michigan showed up on everyone's radar at that time. And I give credit to a lot of these destination facilities in Michigan because they were ready for that. People have asked me at the GAM, okay, well, the GAM membership grew the last 2 years, and what did you do to make that happen? And I don't know if there's anything that we really did. It was just that the environment was such that it happened, and we were prepared for it, just like the operators were. They transitioned to online tee times and payment over the website, and we all made it work. So I think the secret's out, and I think Michigan golf is going to be very successful for a long time.
How about junior golf and women's golf, girls golf?
Right.
The drag, chip, and putt. What effect is that having on getting kids involved in golf?
Well, a couple things are happening. Over the time of the pandemic, the two groups of golfers who grew the most with new players were number one, juniors, and number two, women. And what's happening, especially in junior golf, is the game is diversifying too. So now the story is that golf is for everybody. It's an affordable game, and it's welcoming to everybody. And I think there used to be a time when new golfers were a little bit nervous to go try it for the first time or a little intimidated. And I think that it's just becoming more and more open for all. So we're doing our bit in that at the GAM. The GAM Foundation is running Youth on Course in Michigan. And this is a program where kids sign up for a $15 membership, and that allows them to play over 70 courses in Michigan for only $5 when they play. So if a family has a little budget set aside for golf for the summer, they can make it go really far for their juniors, and we're proud of that.
Well, we have a very nice junior going now. James Pyatt, who I think he missed the cut at Arnie's tournament, but has done very well and is going to be playing in the Masters tournament.
We couldn't be more proud of him.
United States junior champion.
Right. He grew up in the GAM and our championships, and couldn't be more proud of him.
Well, I had mentioned before it came on today that I saw a story, Golf Digest, about a young boy who was 14 years old last year and played in the Junior Amateur Championship. And he's 15 now. He's a Ukrainian and is back in Ukraine, and somehow he manages to get all the news on the Arnold Palmer tournament. He's a Rory fan, and he played 2 tournaments in Florida in January and finished in the top 5. And he was his top junior in Ukraine, which didn't have many golfers, but it's kind of, golf is a worldwide game, and it's crazy.
That story is a heart-wrenching one, but really through my time coaching the men's golf team at U of M and recruiting, I would go and recruit at the British Boys Amateur Championship every couple years, and you weren't just seeing players there from Great Britain and Ireland. I mean, they were from all over Europe and all over the world. And to see the investment that certain countries' sport federations have put into golf development, it's very interesting. And they are creating athletes, specifically in golf, who go out and represent them around the world. And
well, they got scholarships. you know that.
Yeah.
Right.
The U.S. is really the only place in the world where you can go and still develop in your sport while pursuing a wonderful education at the same time. That doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. And for some countries, they want their athletes to only focus on their sport, and the educational piece is not the focus. And for others, it's different. But, it's interesting. Mike Wan, the new CEO at the USGA, in his forward-looking pillars of the game, he has expressed an interest in developing a U.S. team for elite amateur players, bringing them together in one place, maybe in Pinehurst, and to do whatever he can to help them develop specifically on the women's side starting out. And it's interesting to see the U.S. Looking at those models that have been successful in other countries too. We'll see what happens.
Well, college golf is certainly risen over the years, and you're a product of the college golf too, and playing and coaching it, and it's pretty awesome to see what the great changes have been.
I give a lot of the college coaches who have been in it a long time a ton of credit, because not that long ago, but when I was playing college golf around 2000, our season was when the weather was good enough and we got in the van and we made a trip for the weekend, and that was college golf. And now to see it broadcast on live television, to see PGA Tour U, now they're assigning points and opportunities for PGA starts to the top college players or direct Korn Ferry Tour status. It's really being recognized as the proving ground for the best players in the world at that age. And a lot of coaches had a hand in setting that up and putting them down that road, and it's great to see it all paying off now.
Well, what do you think of the return to golf, looking at this show? How many people are here? Wow.
Well, I'm excited. I wonder if the turnout is influenced by the beautiful weather outside, because the golf courses are not quite open yet. But when the temperature gets up around 60, anyone with clubs in the basement or the trunk starts thinking about golf. And it feels great. It's nice to be back.
Okay, terrific. We've been talking to Chris Whitten, who is the Executive Director of the Golf Association of Michigan, and doing a wonderful job for one of the best golf associations in the country.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Chris.